Welcome. Welcome to the studio. Today we're here to talk with Dan Ariely, the author of Predictably Irrational, a fantastic, riveting book that I thoroughly enjoyed. In fact, I enjoyed it so much, I read it multiple times. It felt very personal, and it's almost like I was in your mind reading this. It was just fantastic. Thank you very much. Let me ask you a few questions. What do you find so enjoyable in doing research in behavioral economics? I like behavioral economics because it's really studying ourselves. It's really fascinating that we can look at our day-to-day behavior and the kind of little things that we do every day, like buying a cup of coffee or driving too fast and so on, and learn something new about it is really exciting. And then on top of that, I'm hoping and optimistic that if we understand those things better, we can actually suggest some ways to improve and actually better ourselves and the human condition. Very interesting. Can you tell me, what do you think is the most interesting experiment that you have done? You know, experiments are kind of like children. You don't ask a parent to say which of your children do you like the most. So I like a lot of them. I like all of them. If I think about some of the more surprising one, there's one experiment in which we did the following. We got people to come to the lab, and we asked them to work for us. We asked them to do a very boring task. And we paid them either nothing, 50 cents, or $5. And what we saw was that people worked very hard when we paid them nothing, and they worked almost not at all when we paid them 50 cents. And when we paid them $5, they worked hard again. What was going on here? It turns out that we live in two separate markets. We live in a social market in which we do favors to people, and we live in a financial market in which we work for labor. When we offered people nothing, they thought of it as a social favor and they worked hard. When we offered them 50 cents, they didn't think to themselves, my jolly, I get to help these experimenters, plus I get 50 cents. Instead, the 50 cents replaced their social motivation, and now they were getting paid very little, they worked very little. So the reason I like that experiment is that because it tells us a lot about our life. It tells us about how we should think about work life, how do we want to think about family life, how do we think about our neighbors, and all these intricate interactions that we have. Thank you very much. This has been really interesting and exciting and a pleasure, and I thank you very much for being such a good guest in the studio. And I can't remember the last time I enjoyed an interview as much as I do. And thank you and good night. And to you folks, good night and thank you for being with us. This was Dan Ariely interviewing the esteemed Professor Dan Ariely. Join us soon in this studio.